In the future, where the Earth's environment has become so polluted over time that humans have to wear masks all the time to breathe, although a company called Aethera also made a medicine that humans can breathe without a mask for 6 hours after eating this medicine. This is called AIRemedy, and after this big discovery, this company is now the biggest company in the world and they control everything. However, due to the high cost of this medicine, only the elite class can afford it, and some of the very poor people in society have formed a secret group to create a new medicine for everyone. And it should not be controlled by a big company like Aethera. Now a scientist named Solomon is also doing research on making such a medicine. He and another of his fellow spiders get an alert that all parts of Earth have been polluted, and more than 80% of humans will be killed within the next 18 months. Here the spider suggests that they must complete their research as soon as possible. And the Aethera company is watching them from all sides, so they have to protect their research from them as well. Otherwise, if they find out that we are also making medicine for poor people to breathe and that is also free, they will lose control over the whole world, and then their own medicine AIRemedy will be worthless. But they have to complete their research in secret with great care, to complete which they lack only one last substance and they are looking for it. On the other hand, we see a model named Ella who works for the same Aethera company. Today she is very sad as today her mom was died, and after that she was left all alone. There her boyfriend Telly also refuses to meet her as he has to go out somewhere. Now Ella doesn't want to be alone today, so she calls her best friend Gina, but she also refused to meet her. In fact, Ella's boyfriend Telly and her best friend Gina are having an affair behind her back, and they're still together, which is why they forbids Ella to meet her. Telly now wants to tell Ella the truth, but Gina forbids him because today is Ella's mother's death anniversary and she will be very sad, so they have to wait for a few days. Telly also often smuggles drugs, so he left Gina outside and went inside to get drugs, while Ella was very sad that she will be alone today. Although Gina calls her and asks her to come to tonight's party, but Ella refuses to come. On the way home, Ella is told by the poor people that humans first destroyed the earth itself, so nature is now taking revenge on them. On the other hand, Telly went to the smuggler's hideout to collect his drugs. This was the hideout of the same scientists Solomon and Spider, who are also doing research on their medicine. They also supply drugs so that no one suspects them, and they continue their research with these substances. Now while waiting, Telly starts watching an interview of the CEO of Aethera company, whose name is Eric, in which many people are angry with him, because only rich people can afford their AIRemedy and they also have limited stocks of this medicine. So what will they do next? Eric easily dodges and changes the subject. While packing Tilly's drugs, he sees that Solomon is doing many experiments in his lab. Now he thinks that it will be a drug like other substances, so when no one is around him, Telly secretly steals a bottle of this new substance. However, he did not notice that it is not a drug but a medicine that they are researching on, and it is not yet perfected. Telly smartly leaves with the rest of his packages unsuspecting. Then there was a person from outside who was secretly watching the whole place. Now we will know later who is he. On the other hand, Eric, the head of Aethera company, is very worried about what to do next, because they have limited storage capacity of AIRemedy, because the Earth's environment is getting worse and the plants from which they were making this medicine are not left. Now Eric reaches his lab and finds that his new testing has also failed. That means they have to find another way to produce more of this new medicine as soon as possible. He is told by his assistant Angela that his wife and his son Max are thinking to leave the city, because they don't want to live with a greedy person like Eric, who is selling this medicine at such a high price just for profit and to control the whole world. So before they leave, Eric asks to see his son Max one last time. Ella, on the other hand, is miserable alone and starts missing her mother. She also gets a call from her dad, who used to do social service in another continent, and he says that at least today Ella doesn't have to be alone. So despite not wanting to, Ella goes to Gina's party. At the party, Tilly and Gina were going to hide in the bathroom and try the new substance that Tilly had brought from the lab as a drug, but before she can consume it, Ella sees them and realizes that they are having an affair behind her back, and she starts yelling at them because her best friend was having an affair with her boyfriend, and both of them now go out of there in guilt, but in the meantime they leave the bottle of substance behind, and now while crying, Ella thinks it's a drug and she drinks it all. She wants to make Telly jealous, so she starts getting closer to another guy named Brian. Telly doesn't care though. By now, after taking this substance, Ella's condition also worsens and she vomits in the bathroom and faints. Her whole body was burning, so she filled the nearby tub with water and started lying in it. While out at the party, Telly realizes that he missed the substance in the bathroom. By now Solomon's men had also come to catch him. They found out that Tilly had picked up their research from their hideout, so they came to catch him. Now when they come to the bathroom, Ella hides in the water while they are beating Telly and asking where he hid their substance. Telly tells that he dropped the substance somewhere in the party, so they lock Telly in the bathroom and go downstairs to find their substance in the party. While alone in the bathroom, Ella comes from the water and reveals to Telly that she has consumed the entire substance. By now Solomon's men from outside come in again, so Ella hides again and Solomon's men start hitting Telly and asking what she did with their substance. He tells that Ella has accidentally drank this substance, and after saying this he tried to snatch the gun and run away, during which a bullet hit him in the leg. So, By now someone outside had called the police. So Solomon's men now go out to look at police, while Tilly sees that Ella is clinging to the ceiling above. She doesn't know how she's doing it, and they think it must be a side effect of the same substance. They also notice that Ella now has super strength, while Solomon's men were standing outside to fend off the police. So now Ella breaks through the roof and gets out, and she herself comes up and takes out Tilly too. From now on they start running by jumping from the roofs. Although Tilly was shot in the leg, so Ella saves him from falling. She also notices that her hands now stick pretty tightly to anything. With their help she climbed onto the roof, and with this power she also saved Tilly from falling. But while they were moving forward, Tilly again slips from the roof and fell down, and Ella is unable to save him despite jumping. By now Gina has also seen them and begins to realize that Ella must have pushed Tilly down. She calls the police to complain that her friend Ella took Tilly's life, while Ella starts to run away in fear, and finally after jumping over a wall she also falls unconscious in front of Brian's car. Brian picks her up and takes her to his house, thinking she must have overdosed. That's when the mysterious man sees everything from the outside and realizes that Ella drank that substance. Brian went home and saw Ella when he got scared. As soon as Ella woke up, Ella notices that surprisingly some claws are now growing out of her hands. So Brian runs out screaming in fear, and Ella goes into the bathroom to see that her body's physical shape is now mutating on its own, as if she is changing into another species. She takes a knife and cuts off her claws and then rushes to a nearby hospital to find out why these changes are happening to her body. But seeing her now, a nurse screams that they should call the police and tells the security guard to capture Ella. Ella knew that she would be caught, so she quickly ran into a patient's room and used her hands to stick herself with ceiling. She also scares the patient into not telling about her, and the guard was no longer able to find her. Eric, on the other hand, has by now found out about the new substance that Solomon had created and about Ella. In fact, the man who was secretly watching them was sent by Eric to find out what new research Solomon was doing, and he orders to capture Ella at any cost because her body contains that Solomon's substance. On the other hand, Solomon's group was also looking for Ella, and Ella secretly goes to her best friend Gina's house again because she was not safe anywhere outside. Gina thinks she's the killer of Tally. Ella tells the truth that she didn't kill Tally, and all this is happening to her because of that life substance. Now as time passes, her body was changing more and more. When she was hungry, she wanted to eat meat, which makes Ella worry about how to get herself back to normal. Just then she gets a message from Tally's phone, which was now being operated by Solomon's men, and they say on the message that Ella should come to them. They will make it back to the way it was before, and now Ella agrees to it. Ella was also angry with Gina that despite being her best friend, she had an affair with her boyfriend behind her back. Jenna reveals to her that they were going to tell her the truth, but she saw everything before they tell. But now since Tally is not alive, so they should not fight each other. Here, on Ella's request, Gina also gives her raw meat and promises to support her so that she can become normal again. Sometime later, when Ella goes to meet Solomon, Solomon and Spider take Ella with them, while Gina was following them in the car so that if Ella was in any danger, she could call the police and help her. There Solomon and Spider take Ella to their hideout, and Eric's man, who has been watching them, notices them. Despite tying Ella inside, she pulls out her claws again and frees herself easily, and Solomon and Spider tell her the truth that they want to benefit everyone with their research. The soldiers from outside were about to catch them. Eric's man called them, and upon seeing the soldiers, Solomon gives the last sample to his partner Spider and tells her to run away. And staying here himself, he starts to convince Ella to support them. But by now the soldiers had come in and they arrest both Ella and Solomon. Even Gina can't do anything from outside. Now after coming to prison, more changes start to come in Ella's body. Her ears start to break and they are replaced by strange-shaped new ears. Meanwhile, in another cell, Solomon begins to explain to Ella that his group was secretly working on a new medicine. By giving it to all poor people, they can save their lives. This ether company will keep robbing such poor people only for profit. That's why they created this substance with great effort. However, the substance has not yet been completed, and therefore Ella's body is being mutated by taking it in high dose. But before he could have tell her further, Eric already came in jail, and he reveals that Solomon used to work for his company in his lab, but then left his company to become a hero of pores and started doing research on his own. That is why they continued to keep an eye on him. Now Eric releases both of them from the police and takes them to his private lab, following them from a distance. Solomon's companion Spider had also come to the lab, now doing basic tests on Ella in the lab. Eric learns that Solomon was making the substance from the DNA of a firefly. That's why Ella's body is mutating into a firefly. So now he alone goes to Solomon and asks him to work again for his company and hand over his new research to them. They will give him a lot of money in return because they are selling their medicine AIRemedy at a high price and they have very few stocks of it, so they are not able to make new medicine. But Solomon was firm on his decision that they should surely kill him. but he wants to give this medicine to all people without any money. By now Ella had also regained consciousness and now her face has also started to change. Eric now explains to her that since fireflies can also filter polluted air, Ella will now be able to breathe in polluted air with her DNA, but since that research is not completed, the rest of Ella's body is also turning into a firefly. So Eric asks Ella to support them as they will perform many tests on Ella, and this time they will modify the substance in such a way that humans can only breathe in polluted air without turning the rest of their bodies into fireflies. Eric also lies to her that Solomon is doing illegal experiments because he wants to harm normal people, and if Ella supports them, he promises her that after their tests are complete, they will make Ella human again, and when this new substance is completed, ordinary people will also be able to breathe in the polluted air. It is beneficial for everyone. Hearing this, Ella trusts him and signs the contract, but the next day Ella could hear all the sounds of outside with her new ears, and she also overhears how outside Eric was telling his doctors that the tests they are going to do on Ella would be very difficult for her to survive, but they will get the substance, although he still doesn't know that Ella has heard everything inside with her super hearing power, and she starts yelling that she won't support them at all, but Eric quickly releases gas inside and knocks Ella unconscious again, while from outside, Spider had sneaked in with an employee's ID by now so she could get both Ella and Solomon out with her. While inside, when two doctors were about to take Ella to perform an experiment on her, Ella cut her handcuffs and attacked the doctors. She finds out where Solomon is locked up and opens the door with the doctor's handprint and goes there. By now the rest of the security had also figured it out, so the sirens started ringing from all sides. All the guards came to capture Ella again, but now Ella has new powers, so she beats all the soldiers one by one and makes them unconscious, and then she goes to Solomon. By now her back had started to grow feathers. While still out there, Eric takes his son Max to his lab to meet him one last time as he will then be shifted to another continent with his mother. But when Eric arrives at the lab with Max, he realizes that Ella has run out of her room and all the guards are trying to catch her. Eric quickly leaves Max at the reception to find Ella. Hearing the guards coming towards her, Ella now climbs up with her power and takes Solomon out with her. On the other hand, by now Spider also comes in and puts bombs everywhere, and then sends a message to Eric that after 9 minutes blasts will start everywhere, so they should take Ella and Solomon out. However, despite Spider's explanation, Eric felt that it is all a lie and she is confusing them. On the other hand, Solomon and Ella have run to the main lab and Solomon begins to explain to Ella that there is only one substance missing from their research, and that substance they will find here in the lab, after which they will upgrade their serum so that humans can breathe even in polluted air, but the rest of their body parts will not become like fireflies. Now they quickly start taking a sample of this substance while the bombs have already started exploding above. They also hear the sound of someone coming, and when Solomon grabs her, they see that she is their fellow Spider who came to save them. By now Eric has released anesthetic gas everywhere, so everyone rushes upstairs and shuts up in a bathroom. Eric's son Max was also hiding here, whom he left alone while trying to catch Ella, so Ella now takes him with her and starts to run away, and when Eric came in front of them with a gun, Solomon and Spider went ahead, but Ella now threatened Max that if Eric attacked them, she will kill his son. Although Eric only cares about money, he still fires the gun even though his son's life was in danger. Ella leaves Max there because she knew that Eric didn't belong to anyone, and she jumps and reaches the rest of her companions. They quickly took the car out of the parking lot and run away. While the guards are shooting at them, Eric stops them and says that he wants Ella alive for their experiment. So all the guards now start shooting at the tires of the vehicles, and due to this the vehicle has now gone a little distance and overturned. But when the guards go to catch them, they see that only Spider was lying unconscious and Solomon and Ella had already run away. There, Ella cuts the fence with her claws and the two leave the company area, and leaving only one guard with the Spider. Everyone else had gone to capture the two of them, but the Spider now pretends to be injured and kills the guard and runs away. There Ella and Solomon reach a bridge. Solomon explains that the guards will catch them, but Ella can jump from the bridge into the water and she can breathe in water with the help of her powers, and he gives her a sample of the last substance and tells her to meet the head of his group, after which their research will be completed. Although Ella didn't want to leave Solomon behind, but everything depends on her, so she finally jumps off the bridge and leaves, and the guards come from behind and grab Solomon. By nightfall, Spider has hacked everything and spread the news that their research has completed and they will share this new medicine with everyone for free, after which no one will ever die and no one needs to buy that AIRemedy from Aethera company. So by now Ella was fully mutated and now she can fly with her wings, although she might never be human again, but she saved the lives of other humans. With that, the movie ends here. If you like this video, please subscribe this channel.